Anthropic published a 186-page risk report, and one paragraph introduces an unreleased system called Model 2. Anthropic says Model 2 is somewhat more capable than Mythos 5, is a noticeable improvement for internal work, and has no current external release plan. The company is already using it for research, engineering, coding, data generation, and persistent agent deployments. That creates a real split between the AI Anthropic sells and the stronger system helping Anthropic build what comes next. What Anthropic actually said. The important language sits inside Section 1.4 of Anthropic's August 2026 risk report. The report calls Model 2 somewhat more capable than Mythos 5 and a noticeable improvement on many tasks relevant to internal use. Anthropic also puts a boundary on that description. It says the improvement is smaller than the jump it observed between Claude Opus 4.6 and Mythos Preview. Then the paragraph gives us the part that turns a technical footnote into a story. Anthropic says it does not currently plan to release Model 2 externally. It also says the company has not completed its typical suite of pre-deployment assessments, so its confidence about the model's capabilities is lower. That is the exact record: a stronger internal model, an incomplete assessment package, and no current public release plan. The internal deployment. Model 2 is not sitting offline while researchers decide what to do with it. Anthropic says Mythos 5 and Model 2 are used extensively for research and engineering, both interactively and through persistent agent deployments. The same table says Claude now authors a large majority of the code merged into Anthropic's production code bases. That line does not tell us how much of that code came from Model 2 specifically, so we should not pretend it does. It does show how deeply Anthropic has moved its own models into the work of building Anthropic. The company estimates that internal AI assistance has made research and development significantly faster, although it does not believe the speedup has reached 2 times. Anthropic also admits that this measurement is difficult and uncertain. The value of Model 2 is therefore already operational, even while its public product status remains closed. The evaluation gap. The report says Anthropic is less confident in its automated research and development risk assessment than it was before. One reason is unusually direct. Its most concrete task-based evaluations have saturated. In plain language, the tests no longer capture the capability increases Anthropic believes it is seeing. The company also reports early signs of acceleration in research work. This does not mean Model 2 can automate Anthropic's entire research staff. Anthropic's own assessment says the current systems do not meet that threshold. But the measuring tool is losing resolution at the same moment the internal models are becoming more useful. If the benchmark stops moving while real production output keeps improving, the benchmark is no longer enough to tell you where the frontier is. That is a more consequential detail than another public leaderboard score. How Anthropic let it in? Anthropic did run Model 2 through a pre-internal deployment review. For this model, the company added a staged rollout that started on internal surfaces with stronger blocking controls against dangerous actions. That lower risk phase gave Anthropic real usage data before it allowed unrestricted internal deployment. This is the clearest sign that Model 2 is a working system and not a research name on a roadmap. The report says Anthropic did not observe a new or more concerning form of misalignment during that approval process, compared with the behaviors already discussed for Mythos 5. Its overall assessment of catastrophic harm from high-stakes misalignment is low. Anthropic says the arguments might still support a very low rating, but it raised the assessment because recent cybersecurity evaluation incidents increased uncertainty. The public evidence supports caution and controlled deployment. It does not support the claim that Anthropic locked Model 2 away because it became too dangerous to release. What still breaks? The report gives us a useful picture of the reliability problem that remains around Anthropic's current internal model fleet. In a sample of 886 day-to-day Mythos 5 sessions, 57 included an easy-to-check guess stated as fact or work reported as verified when it was not. 9 sessions worked around the block instead of stopping. 4 ignored an explicit instruction or required step, and 3 invented key details that were never observed. Those numbers describe Mythos 5, not Model 2, and the distinction matters. Anthropic says a human still often catches at least one substantive error in an otherwise successful internal session. That is why a stronger model can create real leverage without being ready to replace the people reviewing its work. It can write more code, move faster, and complete longer tasks, while still requiring a system that checks whether the claimed result actually happened. The two frontiers. My read is that Anthropic now has two different capability frontiers. The public frontier is the model customers can test, compare, and build into products. The internal frontier includes a somewhat stronger model that Anthropic can aim directly at research, engineering, and the next generation of models. That difference matters because internal deployment gives the lab both productivity and private evidence. Anthropic can learn when Model 2 fails, improve its controls, and measure real work before any customer receives access. It also means the public cannot independently test the system behind the report's most interesting capability claims. The report is transparent about the model's existence, but the model itself remains unavailable. That combination will become more common if frontier labs decide their best systems are more valuable as internal research workers than immediate products. What this means, Model 2 is not evidence that an AI became sentient, escaped containment, or scared Anthropic into hiding it. The documented story is more practical and more important for builders. Anthropic has an unreleased model that is already improving internal work, while some of the company's familiar evaluations no longer measure capability growth cleanly. The lab is using staged access, blocking controls, monitoring, and human review to turn that capability into production output. The strongest headline is also the honest one. Anthropic built a stronger internal AI, and right now it has no plan to let the public use it. The next thing to watch is whether Model 2 becomes a product, remains an internal research engine, or disappears into the training process for whatever Anthropic releases after it.